support, which I didn't have. So that's why this is something that I always wanted to do, to share my experience so no one has to go through alone through different diseases. So that's my story.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful to hear, and that'll help so many people.
Thank you.
I'm proud of you. That sounds great.
Thank you.
And all of you may have noticed that I forgot to hit the record button in the beginning, so I just started the record there. So we're now in recording. So any other new coaches or any other announcements, events coming up? Okay, then let's go ahead and get started with tonight's topic. And we're going to do something a little bit different tonight. And it's going to carry on for probably the next 6 weeks or so. It's going to be a follow-up to what's happening in the boot camps. And the reason is we want you to get the biggest benefit you can out of these boot camps. And we think we've identified a way to do that. So let me just give you a little example of what we're talking about. Have you ever experienced the excitement when you feel you go to a new training session or you attend a webinar and you're like, oh my gosh, what a great idea that is. And you're taking notes and you're writing them down like crazy and you're like, oh, why didn't I ever think of that before? And you're loving everything that you're hearing. This is what's going to happen at National Convention, by the way. And you're loving everything. And then you close that night, you close up your office, and the next day you come in and something happens. You get a call and you're off and running and you don't get your notebook opened up. And all those great ideas are still sitting in that notebook. They didn't go anywhere. They didn't get implemented into your business. So what we want to do is we want to help you. We want to encourage you, and we want to provide a forum for you to implement what you're hearing in the boot camps into your business. Basically transferring what you're hearing into your everyday business. Okay? So that's the reason that we want to do this. And so what we're going to do is we're looking for interaction from everyone. Everybody's going to talk tonight. We want to get people involved in interacting with us. And the best way to do that, and if you looked at the posting that Donnie put out on the Facebook page, the best way to do that is to identify one thing. I want you to identify one thing that you heard during the boot camp last night and that you want to incorporate into your business. Now, some of you were sitting there probably writing notes and you might have 10 things. But let's just start with one thing and see what it is that you would like to implement or begin doing in your business. This may even be something you've heard of before, but you just didn't get started on it, okay? And so what we want to do is start thinking about what that one thing is, and everybody will get a chance to share. I'm going to just share a couple more things with you while you're thinking about that. And that is, during this next week, what we're going to ask you to do is to begin to work on that idea. So tonight you're going to identify it, you're going to declare it, and then you're going to begin to work on it this next week. And what you can do with that then is next Tuesday night, we're going to talk about how that went for you. And you may have heard new things. Next Tuesday night, we're going to talk about it. You may hear something new on the boot camp call next Monday night, in which case we can incorporate that. So for those of you who were on and got to listen to the boot camp call last night, do you remember the part about Jared talking about there's a runner or a person that usually leads? And when people get to running and going, we all get to moving faster and we all get to moving together and the business grows. And that's what we want. We want this business to be what you guys originally wanted it, and we want it to grow for everybody. We want to help as many people as we can, and when we do it this way and help bring that out and help you think about what it is you're going to focus on, we believe that's going to happen. So that's our approach for tonight and for the next few weeks. So let's go ahead and get the fun started. I'm not sure what it's going to sound like when we unmute. So everybody, please try to keep yourselves muted if you have a lot of noise in your background. But when you don't and you want to speak and it's your turn to speak, then please unmute yourself and join in. And if we can do some interaction and go from there. So let's get the fun started. Who wants to go first?
I can go first if that's okay. I'm Mary Jo Recadal. I live in Austin, Texas. And what I really loved hearing again and being reminded of was the phrase that we are not telling and selling, we are sharing and caring. And I want to put that in the forefront of my brain. And then the specific phrase to that was, tell me what you'd like to accomplish with your health. I've copied that down and I want to use that because that's the essence of sharing and caring, is tell me what you want to accomplish with your health. That's my takeaway.
Great. And are you going to have that sitting out somewhere so that when you talk to people throughout the week, you'll be reminded to use that?
I'll put it on a sticky note right on the face of my laptop.
There you go. Okay. And then next week, we'll look to hear how many times you got to use it.
Okay.
You might lose count, but if you can, that would be great.
I hope I lose count.
Oh, yes, we do too. Exactly. That's a great one. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mary Jo. Who'd like to go next? Nydia, do you want to unmute yourself? You know how? Okay.
Yes. Hi, everyone. I'm Nydia, and I'm in Winter Park, Florida. And my biggest takeaway from last night, I enjoyed the bootcamp very much. And it was about instead of telling people the how, just make sure you focus on the why, which goes along with what Mary Jo just said. Just let them talk and take them back to what their goals are. And Beth always stresses out when we do training. But you forget because you're so excited and you may want to share your experience and, oh, here's how the program works. And you're like so excited. But we have to really put our focus on their needs, on what their goals are. And then another thing that they mentioned now, moving forward, that we should do with the first clients is to order the Habits of Health book in every single order, in the first order with the kit. And I think that's going to be critical because that way we try to stress the importance of this is not a the dieting mentality versus it's a lifestyle, and we're changing habits. And the program allows for us to help with that instead of just, this is a diet and we're going to lose the weight. Not just about the food. In fact, it's not a
Maybe I think it just froze. So I'll just what you say. If you can hear me, what you said was fantastic, and there's a lot there. So I'm hoping you get the opportunity this next week to really use that and focus on the why and let people talk. Sometimes that is the hard one right there, is just being quiet and letting them talk, right? So, okay, great. Thank you very much. Who'd like to go next? Duke?
Yes, I just noticed that I didn't actually introduce myself earlier. Just for everyone, my name is Duke, and I located here in Winter Park, Florida. So you all know where I am. Sorry for earlier. What I took from yesterday's meeting is that we all have a unique story, which I really like, because that identifies us as a human being, and that how we connect with other people too. And also that we also have to listen to the other people to understand where they are coming from. So what Mary Jo was saying, that we're not selling, we're basically listen to the other person's needs. And if they also understand where we're coming from, we can connect the dots and have a relationship and also go through this journey with them. So that's one of the takeaways that I took. And also be yourself. That's one of the key, just to be yourself, and everything will be easier instead of just pretending you are a selling person or health coach and so forth. So that's what I took away.
Fantastic. You guys are doing great. This is exactly what we were looking for, right, Donnie? Okay, all right. Who wants to go next?
I'll go.
Okay.
The one thing that I was reminded of is the importance of having a system for tracking people and how that can make the difference between an amateur and a professional. You know, we want to be professional coaches, and something so simple as tracking their information and having a system to keep organized. And it sounds so basic, but I'm so glad they go over this every time, because for at least 3 years of my business, I was the sticky note person, and I never thought of that as I never connected the dots as that not being professional until I had to really start training other people, and training other people to use sticky notes just doesn't work.
Wow.
And you lose track of people, and it's hard for you to follow up and whatever. So that's just one thing that really strikes a chord with me every time I hear it. Making sure that every single one of my clients has a well-being evaluation tracker.
Yes.
And it also reminds me, I love using the well-being tracker, because it reminds me, did we do a well-being evaluation? Have we gone through that? So.
Mm-hmm. And I love that too, Donnie. And one of the things is, unless you're brand new, you probably have clients that you didn't do the well-being tracker with. You didn't do that evaluation. You don't have a tracker on them. And it's okay to go back. Isn't it? That was great. That was a good reminder. So that just tells you always have more work with that person. So on your next call with them, go through that with them. So excellent. Okay. Who else? Sandy?
Hey. Yeah, pretty much what everybody else said. Organization for me too, Donnie. That's one. But one of the things that helps me so much all the time is to hear Dr. Anderson mention how this is not about the past. This is not about how we've done it in the past. Just how forgiving it all can be. But when he said that this is simply a journey of how can I be better and how can I help you be better, I thought that was just really just nice and simple, and just a great way to not get all wrapped up in the mud of it. So, and Terry Miller's prayer too was really nice. That was something I wrote down that I thought was really great. What is the blessing they are looking for that Take Shape for Life has to offer? So thank you.
That was good. I'm glad you mentioned that one, Sandy. And if you guys didn't see that one, I think she was almost, tearing up when she talked about it. That was really interesting. She actually took their paper, right, Sandy, and she put it on her heart and prayed before she called or talked to that person. Really, really makes you think about what it is that we're doing in this business. Excellent. Thanks. Appreciate that one. Do you see yourself doing that, Sandy, before you call people during this next week?
I do. I see myself, and I really have been trying to, I had heard another prayer that I've been just kind of trying to start my day with, it basically is, where would you have me go? What would you have me do? What would you have me say, and to whom? So I've been really just trying to be open to a lot more of that in my life. And I feel like whether or not, it's a prayer or whatever people want to think about that, I really think it truly is about bringing mindfulness to the moment and being focused on that person, because I think that's something that Take Shape for Life has helped me to do in life, is to have much more mindfulness. And now when I can be clear and present and talk to people, I just think it just comes through so much nicer, and I can hear what they say so much better too that way. So yes, Neva, I'm going to focus on that this week.
Okay, great.
And getting well-being trackers on everybody.
All right. Okay. I think we'll all be working on that one for a while, be my guess.
Yeah.
So we're okay with that. Thank you. Who else has one to share?
Hey, Neva, this is Beth. Could I share?
Absolutely.
And actually, Nydia, I was going to say just what you said last night was you have to know someone's why before you tell them how. And it's so easy to want to tell everybody how first because you're excited. And one example I had today was I had a referral, and it was from a physician's office, so I called this gentleman back, and he said to me, tell me how it works. Tell me how your program works. And I did have to, I paused for a second because I got, in my mind, no, I've got to take control of this back, and I've got to ask questions. And I said, I am a health coach, and these are the 3 things that we do. And what I'd like to do, though, is really find out, what are your goals? Tell me what's going on with you. And just by saying, hey, tell me what's going on with you, someone will tell you everything. And so he did, his health issues, his weight, what he's been struggling with. And then that allows for a lot more questions. And then I can go in with the how. So I did want to say, Nydia, I so agree with that. And then my second takeaway, real briefly, another experience is follow the system that's in place. And when I first started as a health coach, I thought I could reinvent the wheel and do it better. And that was not true. And I tried to make things more complicated and make it all about how much I knew and, all of that. And that doesn't work. So following the system and keeping it really simple and fun is the other big takeaway. So those are my shares.
Excellent. Excellent. Okay. Thank you, Beth. Who else hasn't shared yet? Linda? You wanna unmute? There you go.
Hey, everybody. I am not doing the boot camp. I did it last time, though.
Okay.
And I think one of the big takeaways for me early on was follow-up, how important that is. And they gave a lot of examples, I recall, of how they lost clients because they didn't really follow up in a timely manner. So I'm trying to really, really use that advice and, and do that. Don't wait 2 weeks or a month or, right away. So
good point. Good point.
It's an easy thing to do too. Not that difficult at all.
Yes.
So, and the organization, I agree with everybody. In fact, Terry Miller, I don't know if that came out yet, but she suggested notebook, and I did put that together, the notebook, to keep everything organized, and it helps so much, and I'm using that now. So
okay. Great. So I'm glad that you told us that, Linda, because what you're doing is you're still incorporating things from the last boot camp, which, right? It's not surprising. I am too. And so there's a lot here, you guys. So, even just to get started, identify 1 or 2 things, get started on them. It's really going to be helpful. Thank you.
I refer back to simple systems all the time. That's where that was introduced also, I believe, right? And that's awesome. So I go back to that a lot, which, helps me recall what they've, and I took notes. It's a good thing. It really is a good thing. The boot camp was great.
Okay.
I have one of my coaches doing it right now too. So.
Okay. And it'll be easy for you to do follow-ups this week, Linda. And I think we even, at one of our previous meetings, talked about setting specific times during the week that are just on your calendar for follow-ups so you don't forget it, right?
Right.
Great. Thank you. Okay. Looks like, Carissa, are you up next?
Hi, can you hear me?
I can.
Good. I had a really bad headache last night, and I was unable to be on last night's boot camp, but I was on the last session. But I did get I messaged my coaches and asked them to send me, each a takeaway and at least one. And it was awesome to, hear their feedback. Mm-hmm. And I was with my health coach last night, and just kind of all the reminders that everybody's been talking about, I'm a good listener, but I think I need to get better at asking the right questions. And so I've been really mindful of that, even as I was talking with clients today, and just the whole time I'm thinking about, okay, ask the right questions. And, one of my clients was saying, yeah, well, if it's between a bag of chips and something good for me, I'm going to choose the bag of chips. If I ask myself what I want, and I said, well, let me challenge you with maybe changing the question, because for any of us, if we're asking for a bag of chips or, something good for us, probably the bag of chips is going to win every time. But if you ask yourself the question, what do I want most right now? Do I want to create a healthy habit? Do I want to ensure a better future? And kind of change that. You're going to get a completely different answer. So that's just really been kind of the big aha moment for me this week. I'll probably carry it forward and just continue even as I talk to people to get better at asking questions and being aware of what question in that moment needs to be being asked.
Wow, that's great. And
isn't it good?
It is good. It takes work, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. But it's good because I might be a really good people person, but I still can get a lot better at this. I listen to you guys talk, and even somebody said, well, they said, tell me about your program. And they're like, so I told them, the 3 things that we do. And I'm like, I couldn't tell you what those are, but that's awesome. I know I have them written down because I remember us talking about them, but it's just so much. So it's always like, I should be able to do that. So again, I'm like going, I got to get better there. So.
Well, you know what, Carissa, since everybody's learning here, I think we should just take a minute, bring Beth back on the line.
Yeah.
Beth, tell us briefly the 3 things.
Okay, and Carissa, you should know this. Okay, so this is part of what we share when we share the program with someone, and the 3 tools that we use are, number 1, the health coach, right? For partnering, coaching, support, accountability. The second tool is we use a program, the 5-in-1 program, a structured program to help clients achieve weight loss and health goals safely and rapidly. And then the third part is helping our clients learn new habits of health, lifestyle behaviors, so that they replace the old, so that they have success for the long term. So those are the 3 things we do that set ourselves apart from dieting, in which most people fail, and people returning to the old ways. So those are the 3 things. Is that good?
That's perfect.
Good, Carissa.
I'm glad Carissa asked, and thank you, Beth, for jumping back on, because I saw a lot of people taking notes here. So I think that was a good little segue that we had.
It's my mantra every day of the week. I'm talking about it.
Mine too. I agree. Get that one down. Okay, we have a couple more people that haven't shared yet. Susan.
Okay, we all probably end up saying, I know this is such a simple thing, but that map that we keep talking about over and over again, not just the process of filling it out, but the fact that I'm to do it at the end of the month or the very beginning of the month. That routine is so powerful, looking at the blank spaces. But to be honest, this month when I did it and I was filling some things in, I thought, oh gosh, I filled those in last month, my potential coaches. And guess what? I still didn't talk to that person. So, filling it out again reminded me of what I needed to do. And I love that they talk about, get it dirty, scribble on it. And I haven't done that. It's in my binder. It's nice and neat, and probably too neat. I probably do have to have it in my purse, or a second copy in my purse, to ensure that when I fill it out next month, I'm not looking at some of those spaces and going, oh, I wrote them down, but I didn't do anything. When I wonder, what should I be doing? And I have moments when I sit at my desk or wherever I am, and I think, okay, what's that thing that I should be doing? What's that high leverage thing? My map tells me. I just need to look at it. I filled it out, and so I'm working on that habit of doing it every month and doing it, with intentionality. These names that I'm putting on there, I am going to reach out to these people.
Excellent. Susan, I'm so glad you brought that up. I was waiting for somebody to bring up the map, and you are absolutely right. I think anybody who's been working on it, we look at it at the end of the month, and sometimes I'm like, hey, I did meet that goal. Hey, I did meet that goal. Oh, I didn't talk to that person at all. And it really makes it easy to start the next month because you know right where you need to start. So thank you. That's a good one. Let's see. Natasha, we haven't talked to you yet.
Hello.
Hello.
For me, it was like everyone's pretty much saying is like the whole why, doing the why before the how. Because I'm so excited that I forget to step back a little bit and just like give them the why. Like, why do they want to be on this program? Why is they want to make this health journey? Why do they? But I just want to be like, I want to help you so bad, but I have to step back and realize like what I'm doing and making sure that I'm making this business better and, you know, showing them what I have learned and how I am, but I got to do the why first. So
Right.
I get too excited about the how before the why. So I have to work on that as coaching. And also Susan said it, but also my biggest thing also is the map. I don't do very good on the map. So I'm working on that. So as my coach Carissa is right there looking at me like,
she's giving you the evil eye.
Yes. So yeah.
Okay. Thank you. That is great. And it doesn't matter if yours is the same as somebody else. It's what it is that resonates with you and that you're going to work on this next week. Lee, I know you weren't on the call last night, but is there anything you want to share?
Yes, you
Okay.
have to be organized. I have learned that badly over the last month with all the chaos I've had. So if anybody can give me extra hints, boy, I'm all ears. I'll be more than happy to learn.
Okay, fantastic. All right. Who else has not talked? Diane? Is there a Diane?
Yeah, hi, can you hear me?
I can, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, no, I'm sorry. I wasn't at the meeting yesterday, and I'm just getting started. It's taking me a while. So I just appreciate all the reinforcement and keep learning and taking notes.
Fantastic. Okay.
Support, I appreciate it.
Well, hopefully you can pick up from other people here and do something to try this week. That's what we want to do. We want to try something new this week and report on it next week.
Okay.
Okay, thank you, Diane.
Mm-hmm.
Is there anybody else on the phone that I've missed? I think we got everybody. Did everybody get a chance to go through at least once? Okay. So it's about 7 or 8:37 on the East Coast. And so what I want to do is, first of all, just thank everybody for sharing. That's exactly, you don't know, you don't realize that you may have said something that affected somebody else, and they might have changed their one thing they're going to work on this week just based on what they heard. So it's very beneficial to share with one another. And I was going to wrap up tonight with saying, if you have not done your map, completed your map for the month of June and send it to your business leader, somebody's getting the evil eye there. If you have not done that, do it. Even if you're not exactly sure, you know, how to do it or what to do, complete it, send it to your business leader, and they'll help you. It builds the momentum from, like Susan was talking about, from one month to the next. So it'll save you time going forward. And so then just to summarize, think about that one thing you shared tonight, and I want you to make sure that you work on it this next week. Mary Jo talked about sticky notes, whatever you need to do to remind yourself to do it. And then next week when we talk, we want to hear, did you get to work on it? And if so, how did it go? All right. And then we'll also talk about what we hear next Monday night during the boot camp. Are there any questions or comments?
Comments. Neva, this was a great call.
Okay.
And so constructive. And yeah, I appreciate everybody's input. I always learn something all the time. And anyway, I thought this was fabulous, and I love that everybody contributed.
Ditto. Thank you, Beth. All right, and with that, and Carissa's head nodding, I think we'll go ahead and close it for tonight. So thank you, everybody. Have a great week.
Good night.
Good night.
Well.